The third caliph, Usman radiallahu anhu, has been elected by a panel. We know that Umar radiallahu anhu, before his death, has made a panel of 6 people. Okay, you have to mention the names that Umar radiallahu anhu mentioned, uh, the available from the 10 blessed companions. Okay, from the 10 blessed companions, Umar radiallahu anhu mentioned the name of Usman, Ali, Talha, Zubair, Saad bin Abi Waqas, and Abdurrahman bin Auf. Mentioned that Umar's choice was Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah during during his lifetime. During his lifetime, Umar's choice was Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah. Umar wanted to nominate Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah as his successor during his lifetime, but since Abu Ubaidah had died, okay, during his Khilafat, so his next choice was Abdurrahman bin Auf. Abdurrahman bin Auf was his next choice, but Abdurrahman was not willing to shoulder such a great responsibility. Okay, so the the other choices were from the available say 10 plus companions were these people: Usman, Ali, Talha, Zubair, Abdurrahman bin Auf, and Saad bin Abi Waqas. Okay, and he did not mention one of them, like Saeed bin Zaid. Saeed bin Zaid was not mentioned by him because Saeed bin Zaid was his relative. Umar did not want to nominate anyone from his relative, from his family. Okay, Saeed bin Zaid was Umar's brother-in-law. ठीक है, उनके बहनोई थे. Saeed bin Zaid was Umar's brother-in-law, and that is why he has not mentioned his name in the panel. Okay, other 6 people were mentioned, and they were commanded to elect the new caliph within 3 days. They have to elect the new caliph from amongst them, and within 3 days the caliph must be elected, and on the fourth day the caliph must take the charge of the office. Okay, after the death of Umar radiallahu anhu, the meeting was held and discussions went on, and finally Abdurrahman resigned and he withdrew his name from being elected as a caliph, and it was decided that he would take the final decision. The final decision would be taken by Abdurrahman bin Auf. So Abdurrahman bin Auf consulted each and everyone individually. Okay, and he had noticed that majority of the votes they were in favor of either Usman radiallahu anhu or Ali. Finally, majority of the votes were either in the favor of Usman radiallahu anhu or Ali radiallahu anhu. So he consulted each member individually and many other senior companions. Okay, you can mention that Usman voted for Ali and Ali voted for Usman, but majority was voting in favor of Usman. Okay, लेकिन इस बात को mention करने से पहले you have to mention that Usman radiallahu anhu realized that majority of the votes were either in the favor of Usman or Ali radiallahu anhu. Okay, so what he did, he asked both of them that if any one of them is willing to give up, okay, and to give up his status of candidacy so that he may elect the other one. क्या इन दोनों में से आप दोनों में से कोई willing है कि वो अपने आप को withdraw कर दे so that he can elect the other one? To which they both kept quiet. Okay, they remained quiet. They remained silent. Then Abdurrahman bin Auf asked from both of them, could you leave the matter on me, and I bear Allah as witness that I will not select but the better one of you. Could you leave the matter on me, and that I bear Allah as witness that I will not select but the better one of you. To which they accepted. Okay, they accepted. And Abdurrahman bin Auf then took oath separately from both of them. Then Abdurrahman bin Auf took oath separately from both of them, from both them. Okay, he asked Usman that if I elect you, you have to do justice and you need to follow the footsteps of the Holy Prophet and the first 2 caliphs. Okay, if I elect you, you have to do justice and you need to follow the footsteps of the Holy Prophet and the first 2 caliphs. Fine. And if I elect Ali in your place, you will accept him as a caliph and obey him. Usman anhu took the oath. And then the same oath has been taken from Ali anhu also, that if I elect you, you will do justice and you will follow the footsteps of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and the first 2 caliphs. Fine. And if I elect Usman in your place, you have to accept him and follow him. So Ali Radhiyallahu anhu also took the oath. So this after taking this oath from both of them, then Usman Radhiyallahu anhu discussed the other senior companions, and finally he reached to the conclusion that majority of people they favored Usman, and so this is how Abdurrahman bin Auf gathered the people in the mosque, and he announced the appointment of Usman Radhiyallahu anhu as a caliph. Then Ali was the second one. Okay, first of all, Abdurrahman took the pledge on his hand, and then Ali Radhiyallahu anhu followed him, and then the other member of the Shura they accepted him as a caliph, and then there was a general pledge on his hand, and Usman has been elected as a caliph. Okay, that's about election of Usman as a caliph. That how Usman has been elected. After being elected as a caliph, okay, we need to focus on because another question could be from his caliphate that how the Islamic empire expanded, how he maintained the state, that about his administration, about the expansion of the Islamic empire. Because Usman anhu ruled over the Islamic empire for 12 years. Okay, out of these 12 years, the first 6 to 8 years were glorious. They were full of success. Okay, you need to focus on the main details which I am telling you. Fine. Okay, you can even mention that what is there mentioned. ठीक है, वो भी बात mention की जा सकती है. ठीक है, लेकिन आप जो मेन डिटेल है उसके ऊपर फोकस कर लें, जो कि ओवरऑल सारी बुक्स में ही मेंशन है, और मैंने कहा वो भी मेंशन की जा सकती है कि इफ देयर इज अ डिफरेंस इन ओपिनियन, ठीक है, विच इज मेंशन इन द बुक ऑफ निगत बाजवा, दैट कुड आल्सो बी हाईलाइटेड दैट व्हाई अली हैज़ नॉट एक्सेप्टेड. ठीक है, और बस आप सिंपल ये बताएं कि यू कैन फॉलो, पर्टिकुलरली यू नीड टू फॉलो द मार्किंग स्कीम विच यूजुअली मेंशंस दिस. ठीक है, तो आपने इलेक्शन में इतनी ही बात बतानी है कि किसने किसको वोट दिया था, फिर अब्दुलरहमान बिन औफ ने कैसे उस मैटर को रिजॉल्व किया, एंड बाय हिज ओन पर्सनल डिसीजन एंड बाय टेकिंग ओपिनियन फ्रॉम द अदर पीपल, इट वाज फाइनली डिसाइडेड that Usman would be elected as a third caliph. And first Abdurrahman bin Auf took the oath, and then this was followed by Ali Raziyallahu Ta'ala anhu, and Usman has been elected as a third caliph. ठीक है, एक्सपेंशन की बात करें, आप बताएंगे कि आफ्टर द डेथ ऑफ उमर रज़ियल्लाहु तआला अन्हु, the first Usman, at first people, there happened revolt in some areas, there happened revolt, there was a revolt in Armenia and Azerbaijan, and also there was a revolt in Alexandria. Okay, Usman anhu successfully crushed these revolts. Okay, so initially there were revolts, there were uprising, because many people they considered Usman weak, okay, and very much kind, and they realized that it would be an advantageous for them to regain the areas that has been lost by them during the caliphate of Umar anhu. So there were revolts. However, these revolts were suppressed. They were crushed because Yazgird was killed. Okay, and his son fled to China, and further extension of territory took place. So the people of Azerbaijan and people of Armenia they broke the treaty. So Usman sent forces, Walid bin Uqba, and he had also sent the army towards Armenia. Okay, and here the successful campaigns were led by these commanders, Walid bin Uqba, and because of this, these areas were reconquered. The revolt was crushed. Okay, so this revolt was crushed. In the same way, there was a revolt in Ray. Usman ordered Abu Musa Ashari, okay, an army conquered it again. So there was a particularly आपने आर्मीनिया और अजरबैजान को mention करना है, ये additional है अगर mention करना चाहो कि there was a revolt also in Ray. Okay, Usman ordered to send army and it was conquered again. Then there was a revolt in Alexandria also. Okay, talk about the revolt in Alexandria, and Usman also sent. ठीक है, ये कुछ revolts थी. देखिए अबू मूसा अशरी at that time, when Abu Musa Ashari was unable to handle the situation there in Basra, so Usman anhu replaced him by Abdullah bin Amir, okay, his relative. Abu Musa Ashari was unable to handle the situation there in Basra. Fine, he was the governor of Basra. तो उस्मान ने उनको replace किया किससे? Abdullah bin Amir से. And Abdullah bin Amir led successful campaigns. He controlled Kirman, Sajistan, Nishapur, and the other parts of Khorasan. Khorasan was a major province, and these areas of Khorasan province were conquered. ठीक है? And other areas, ठीक है, Takharistan, Okay, Islam reached as far as Ghazni to Kabul. These areas were conquered. तो अब्दुल्ला बिन आमिर जब अपॉइंट कर लिया तो ही लेड सक्सेसफुल कैंपेन्स. ठीक है, कुछ उन्होंने कमांडर्स को भेजा, लेकिन पर्टिकुलरली यू नीड टू मेंशन दैट अब्दुल्ला बिन आमिर रिप्लेस्ड अबू मूसा अशरी. ठीक है, अबू मूसा अशरी की जगह किसको अपॉइंट किया गया? अब्दुल्ला बिन आमिर को अपॉइंट किया गया. देन देयर वाज आल्सो अ revolt in Alexandria, and this was also again crushed. Okay, again it was crushed. Okay, Islamic Empire expanded further towards west. वो तो हमने ईस्ट की कैंपेन्स देखी थी पिछले के अंदर. ठीक है, आर्मीनिया was reconquered, Azerbaijan was reconquered, and several areas were also conquered. Muslim Empire has reached as far as Kabul in Afghanistan, Khorasan, and these areas have been conquered. Usman, during the Caliphate of Usman, Islamic Empire further expanded towards west also. Okay, अभी हम आगे मैप में भी देखेंगे how the Islamic Empire has been expanded and which area has been conquered. So Usman was the first one to allow Muslims to campaign by sea. For the first time, naval fleet has been built. Okay, for the first time, Muslims they built naval fleet during the Caliphate of Usman radhiyallahu anhu. Because Umar was not in favor of sea fighting, sea war. ठीक है, he was Muawiyah radhiyallahu anhu took permission from Umar radhiyallahu anhu during his Khilafat, but Umar radhiyallahu anhu didn't allow. When Usman radhiyallahu anhu took the charge of the office, he again highlighted the importance of having a naval fleet, because without having that strong navy, Muslims will not be able to prove their might in over the Byzantine, and they will not be able to take control over the Mediterranean and these areas. So Usman anhu allowed, उन्होंने परमिशन दी, बट उन्होंने साथ में ये परमिशन दी कि no one would be forced to join the navy. Okay, so Muslims were allowed. Okay, Umayyad radhiyallahu anhu was allowed to build navy, but no one would be forced. किसी को force नहीं किया जाएगा कि वो navy को join करे. ठीक है, with this navy, with Muslims they laid siege to Cyprus. Cyprus island है Mediterranean के अंदर. ठीक है, the first conquest, that was the conquest of Cyprus, and a treaty was signed with them. और उन्होंने क्या साइन की कि they will pay 7,200 dinars every year. Okay, so in 652 they broke the treaty. Then Muawiyah radhiyallahu anhu attacked from Akka and Abisara from Alexandria. आपको याद रखना है कि अबीसरा इज द गवर्नर ऑफ इजिप्ट. इनका असल नाम अब्दुल्ला भी है. ठीक है, अब्दुल्ला बिन साद, ये नाम असल. ठीक है, इनका असल नाम क्या? अब्दुल्ला बिन साद बिन अबी सर. ठीक है, ये वही नाम है. ठीक है, तो ही वॉज अ गवर्नर ऑफ इजिप्ट. ठीक है, पहले गवर्नर थे अमर बिन अलास. उस्मान डिपोज अमर बिन अलास एंड ही अपॉइंटेड अब्दुल्ला बिन साद. ठीक है, कहीं कहीं पे इनका नाम अबी सरह भी लिखा होता है, अबी सरह एज अ गवर्नर. तो डोंट गेट कंफ्यूज. तो टुगेदर मुआविया रज़ियल्लाहु अन्हु एंड द गवर्नर ऑफ इजिप्ट अब्दुल्ला बिन साद, they made a naval fleet, and together they led successful campaigns in the Mediterranean, and several islands have been conquered. Okay, different island, like the first island that has been conquered by Cyprus. Okay, there was Rhodes, Crete, Sicily, and these areas, these islands have been conquered. So a fleet of 300 ships captured Alexandria. Osman appointed Amr bin Alas and he conquered it again. ठीक है, पहले अब्दुल्ला बिन साद को अपॉइंट किया, लेकिन अब्दुल्ला बिन साद को जब अपॉइंट किया तो वहां से बाइजेंटीन्स ने अटैक किया, एंड अब्दुल्ला बिन साद वाज अनेबल टू कीप कंट्रोल. तो उस्मान रज़ियल्लाहु अन्हु रीअपॉइंटेड अमर बिन अलास एंड ही कॉन्कर्ड अलेक्जेंड्रिया अगेन, बिकॉज देयर वाज अ रिवॉल्ट इन अलेक्जेंड्रिया. मैंने पहले भी आपको बात बताई थी. ठीक है, तो अगेन अमर बिन अलास को दोबारा अपॉइंट किया गया. अमर बिन अलास लेड सक्सेसफुल कैंपेन एंड ही डिफीटेड द बाइजेंटीन्स. ठीक है, और जब उन्होंने ये काम कर लिया तो अगेन अमर बिन अलास हैज बीन डिसमिस्ड एंड अगेन अब्दुल्ला बिन साद हैज बीन अपॉइंटेड एज अ गवर्नर. अमर बिन अलास का भी हमने पहले पढ़ा कि अमर बिन अलास वाज द वन हु हैड फर्स्ट कॉन्कर्ड इजिप्ट ड्यूरिंग द कैलिफेट ऑफ उमर. ठीक है, एंड ही वाज द गवर्नर. लेटर ऑन ही हैज बीन रिमूव्ड एंड अब्दुल्ला बिन साद हैज बीन अपॉइंटेड. लेकिन अब्दुल्ला बिन साद जब अलेक्जेंड्रिया के ऊपर अटैक हुआ एंड देयर वाज अ रिवॉल्ट व्हिच ब्रोक आउट इन अलेक्जेंड्रिया, तो अब्दुल्ला बिन साद वाज अनेबल टू हैंडल द सिचुएशन. तो उस्मान रीअपॉइंटेड अमर बिन अलास, उनको दोबारा अपॉइंट किया एंड ही लेड सक्सेसफुल कैंपेन एंड ही कॉन्कर्ड इट अगेन. लेकिन जब इन्होंने दोबारा कॉन्कर कर लिया, देन अमर बिन अलास हैज बीन रिमूव्ड एंड अब्दुल्ला बिन साद वाज अपॉइंटेड अगेन there at that time. Muslims they had led successful campaigns also in the North Africa. ये अब्दुल्ला बिन साद वही है, the one who is the governor of Egypt. Okay, and he, with the permission of Usman, he conquered North Africa. Okay, whole of the North Africa has been conquered. You can have to identify the areas which have been conquered, like Tunisia. Okay, Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco. Okay, these areas have been conquered during the Caliphate of Usman, and whole of the North Africa has been conquered. Fine, with the help of another commander, Zubair. Zubair को पहले ही भेजा था, तो उनके बेटे अब्दुल्ला बिन Zubair, they help and supported. So Muslims, they led successful campaigns in this area. So here you can see that how the Islamic Empire has expanded from Syria and from Egypt also. Muslims, they were successful. Egypt, ठीक है, यहाँ से Egypt से भी और Syria से भी. They had conquered Cyprus, ठीक है, Crete, ठीक है. These islands have been conquered, and Muslims, they started roaming in the Mediterranean. So they became the master, and they proved their capability, that they are that much powerful, okay, that they had conquered these areas. Fine. So whole of the North Africa has been conquered. Egypt, Tunisia, ठीक है, Algeria, Morocco. ये सारे areas, the whole of the North Africa has been conquered during the Caliphate of Usman Radiallahu anhu, and Islamic Empire has expanded far and wide towards east and towards the west. Fine. So from this map you can easily understand. Then there is the Battle of Mars. For the first time, Muslims, they came into conflict with the Byzantines, and one of the greatest battle was fought, which is known as the Battle of Mars. Okay, because Heraclius, he was determined to to regain and to defeat the Muslims. So with an army of and with a fleet of 1,000 ships to avenge and his continuous loss at the sea. So Muawiyah रज़ियल्लाहु अन्हु ने यहाँ से सीरिया से, and Abdullah bin Saad ने कहाँ से, Egypt से. Okay, they both joined their forces, their fleet together, and Muslims, they fought a battle. Okay, that is known as the Battle of Mars. This battle is also known as the Battle of Phoenix. Okay, Phoenix. Okay, the Battle of Phoeniki, which was fought at the Mount Phoeniki. Okay, and the Byzantine fleet was completely crippled, and they were completely defeated. And there was that much bloodshed that the sea water turned red. ठीक है, मैं आपको इसकी आउटलाइन और इसकी डिटेल्स भेजूंगा, फ्रॉम वेयर यू विल गेट द कंप्लीट डिटेल ऑफ द बैटल ऑफ मास्ट. ठीक है, तो ये सारी बातें क्या हो गई हमारी, द एक्सपेंशन ऑफ द इस्लामिक एम्पायर. सो व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द एक्सपेंशन दैट टुक प्लेस ड्यूरिंग द कैलिफेट ऑफ उस्मान, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी नीड टू मेंशन दैट देयर वर रिवॉल्ट्स इनिशियली. देयर वाज अ रिवॉल्ट इन आर्मीनिया इन अजरबैजान. उसको कैसे डिफीट किया? देयर वाज अ रिवॉल्ट इन अलेक्जेंड्रिया, हाउ इट हैज बीन क्रश्ड. सेकंड, आपने बताना है कि हाउ द इस्लामिक एम्पायर एक्सपेंडेड टुवर्ड्स ईस्ट, जो एरियाज कॉन्कर हुए उनको मेंशन करें. हाउ द इस्लामिक एम्पायर एक्सपेंडेड टुवर्ड्स वेस्ट, जिसमें नॉर्थ अफ्रीका है, ठीक है, नेवल फ्लीट है, और द island that has been conquered, identify separate Cyprus, Crete, Rhodes, these area that जो एरिया कॉन्कर हुए, ठीक है, नॉर्थ अफ्रीका के एरियाज को मेंशन करो, और बैटल ऑफ मार्स को पर्टिकुलरली आइडेंटिफाई करना है. हाँ, हजरत उस्मान का एक्सपेंशन बिल्कुल पूछा जा सकता है, ओवरऑल एक्सपेंशन आ सकता है बिल्कुल इस तरीके से हमें आंसर को, बल्कि शायद किसी ईयर में आया है, चेक करके देखेंगे हम लोग किस ईयर में आया था. तो देयर कुड बी अ क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम द कैलिफेट ऑफ उस्मान अबाउट द एक्सपेंशन ऑफ इस्लामिक एम्पायर ड्यूरिंग हिज खिलाफत.